Hello, and welcome back to Mel the Bombshell. So it is May the 4th, and as you may already know, that means May the 4th be with you, or May the Force be with you, because it is Star Wars Day. And for this special day of the year, we are going to take a look at some of the coolest Star Wars themed gaming hardware out there. And what we're going to be looking at specifically today is the Star Wars Edition Xbox 360S console with Kinect and the C3PO themed controllers. Alright, without further ado, let's dive into it and take a look at our R2-D2 themed Xbox 360S. So here's our look at the console. So right now you're seeing the top part of the console. This is what you would see if the console was laying horizontally on a shelf or on a table or something. We've got our vent section over here along with some more designs. Overall, the only colors featured on this console are blue, silver, black, and white. So the complete exterior of this Xbox 360S is a nice matte white color. So the white, as you can tell, isn't super glossy, which I really like. I'm not the biggest fan of a glossy console, especially on the Xbox 360. I prefer the more matte looks, and this one does just that with that matte white look. The top of this also has some white on the grill, so the top and bottom grills of this console match the white theme and put a white grill over with a silver plate edging around the top section. This silver added to the white really looked like what R2-D2 actually looks like. So R2-D2 has more of a white body, but up at the top we get that silver. So Xbox took that part of R2-D2 and definitely nailed it in this design with the top and bottom of the console featuring silver. The sides of the console feature some of the shapes and shape patterning that you would see on R2-D2's body. So R2-D2 has more rectangular forms, but we see the same shapes replicated on the console and on a figure. If we flip it around and look at the other side of the console, you will see a very similar design. So once again, patterned and repeated shapes that fill out the whole area. Those designs that mimic what R2-D2 has on him. The front of the console is one of my favorite parts, or probably my very favorite part about this console. So the front, we've got a nice blue Xbox 360 disc slot, the very similar in length shape right here, that is taken straight from the front of R2-D2. So this front of this console looks just like the front for our little buddy here. We've got two distinct lines. And then over here is my very favorite part about this, the black mark with the red dot, just like R2-D2's eye and red dot. So if we hold it this way, you see just how that follows along with the design of R2-D2. So if we look at the back where the cords are, you'll notice that none of the ports are corroded. Everything's in a really good condition. We also notice that it doesn't seem like the console's been taken apart ever, which is nice to know that nobody's messed with anything on the inside. There's also an industrial automation logo in the bottom right corner, which is pretty neat because a lot of times, and really any time, a console manufacturer could get away with doing absolutely nothing on the backside because this is where your cords go. Nobody really looks at this side, and the fact that Microsoft and Xbox actually put a little bit of effort and put a design back here to go along with the whole Star Wars theme is exceeding expectations. And now that we've had a look at the console unplugged, let's go ahead and plug this in and see what it's like when we turn it on. So I've got the power cord ready. Go ahead and plug that in and watch this awesomeness. Ready for this? So immediately on the power start, we get the nice R2-D2 droid sound. And if you notice here in the front, the power light, instead of lighting up green like a normal Xbox 360 would, this one does light up in a bright blue, perfectly going along with the R2-D2 theme of blue, white, silver, and black. But this console not only has a sound for the power, it also has a sound for the disc eject. So let's go ahead and test that out. And there we are, the disc ejects when we hear that sound. The sound is the same for the disc going back into the console, but nonetheless, it's still pretty sweet that the console itself gets to make that sound. Let's go ahead and power off. And we get that sound once more. So that is a really cool feature that these consoles that Xbox does of the special editions tend to have. They always have like a special boot sound or a special disc eject or disc tray eject sound. So getting to hear the one that this console has makes this console even more fun to play. So now that our look at this gorgeous R2-D2 themed Star Wars Xbox 360 console is over, let's go ahead and move on and take a look at these gorgeous liquid gold C3PO controllers. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at controller number 1. And just a warning, these two controllers are not at all in the same condition. One has been used much more, and that is this one, than the other one. So the faceplate, of course, is completely the liquid gold. We have a chromed out D-pad, but as you can tell, this D-pad is a little bit damaged. It is chipped in the top right corner, so the chrome has peeled off just a little bit, exposing a bit of black underneath, but the D-pad still feels fine and will function normally. The thumbsticks, you can tell, have seen better days. They are quite worn down. They haven't completely cracked off like you see on a lot of Xbox 360 controllers. What I really like about this controller though is this inside portion. So this inside portion looks like the midsection of C3PO. So we have this black and gray stripe like the C3PO black and gray midsection separating the upper torso and the lower body, with the cord lines coming down through the center. So this mimics the wiring and midsection material of C3PO. The back of this controller isn't too special whatsoever. It's all just plain black. Same with our triggers and our bumpers. If we look at the overall condition of this controller, you can tell it had seen much better days. These two bottom parts are pretty worn down and almost flattened with how much they've just been set down or scooted across a surface. The battery pack though, not too bad of condition. No corrosion evident in the battery pack itself. It is pretty clean. So let's put the Gross Brother back up and take a look at the one controller in slightly better condition. This controller, as you can tell, has not been used nearly as much, as it still has this sticker showing you how to start and power on your system. This, I think, is really cool. That's why I haven't taken it off, because it does just show a more forgotten part about the purchasing of a new Xbox 360 console. This controller feels a lot better in the hands. There's not any weird like flex in it like there is in this controller. So that is really nice. Also, this top corner isn't broken off like it is on this controller here. All of our edges on this one are much cleaner. No dirt and grime excessively built up in any of them. The D-pad, all the chrome is still there. Our thumbsticks feel way better and have much more material remaining. Power button and Xbox home button work perfectly fine. Everything bounces back and feels just as it should. Look at the back. Once again, it's the same design, so we have the midsection of C3PO here with all the wiring. And for these two controllers, that portion looks just about the same. Neither of them have like any of the design worn off completely. And the battery pack, as you would expect, is not corroded. It is very clean, and I suspect it has not been used too much in the past. Let's go ahead and take one more look over at the two controllers side by side. So now that we've had a look at the C3PO themed controllers and the Xbox 360 R2-D2 themed console, we're going to briefly look at the Kinect system included in this bundle. This Kinect system isn't special in any way to be themed like Star Wars. The main thing about the Kinect is just that it is white. So if we look at this Kinect system with this Xbox 360, they are very similar overall. The only main difference in the Xbox 360 and the white Kinect is that the Xbox 360's exterior is more of a matte white, whereas the Kinect is a very glossy, shiny white. I understand that Xbox didn't want to go to all the trouble to make a Star Wars themed Kinect As the Kinect wasn't as big of a hit, they knew it would probably be a bit of a waste to add a bunch of print and make a special edition Kinect when a lot of people didn't really care too much about the Kinect. So even though I appreciate the fact that it is white and kind of matches the console, it's not that big of a deal to me that it isn't themed like Star Wars, like the controllers and console are. I mean, it would have still been nice to see, but it's not a big deal. And now that we've had a look at all the hardware in this bundle, we're going to look at the box that the bundle came in, take a look at some cool Star Wars designs, and see how Xbox wanted to sell this console to the consumers in the past. So here is what the front of the box would have looked like if you were purchasing this at a store. So on the front, we just see the Star Wars logo, Xbox 360, Kinect Limited Edition, and then an image of what's included in the bundle. So the bundle included the console, the white Kinect, and one controller, as well as a Star Wars Kinect video game. And this console also has 320 gigabytes of hard drive space, which is pretty nice for a 360. Look at our first side. The top has the Xbox 360 Kinect Limited Edition once again, and just a further breakdown of what the console looks like and what the bundle includes. So you get front of the console, inside of the console look, controller, Kinect, hard drive. This one also came with a headset, which wasn't included whenever I purchased it. Kinect Star Wars, and Kinect Adventures. It also includes, of course, your cables, and then talks a little bit about what you can do with Xbox Live. This is actually the coolest side, in my opinion, of this box, as we get the Kinect Star Wars logo, Xbox 360, and a large image of C3PO and R2-D2. So this C3PO is a good way to look at how the controller matches. Like you see, C3PO's got our controller design, whereas R2 over here has our console. Kind of completes the set right there. The box isn't in perfect condition by any means. It's got some dings on it, some markings on it, and some of the corners are pretty worn out, even peeling in some areas. But for this box being over 10 years old, it is still pretty darn good. The other side of the console shows off, once again, the Xbox 360, 320 gigabytes. And then this time, instead of seeing what's all is included in the bundle, we get another picture of R2-D2 and C3PO over here, standing next to the console and controller, showing how they resemble each other. And then our top of the box, of course, same sort of deal, Xbox 360, Kinect, Star Wars, and then the image of the bundle. And the bottom, this time, is a little bit more interesting than a bottom box would be. Of course, it has your information written way too small for people to really read, your barcode and serial number. But this sticker right here I find to be very cool. It says, "Do not sell before April 3rd, 2012. So this is the street date sticker on the box to warn retailers not to put this console out, not to let somebody walk out the door and purchase this console before April 3rd, 2012. And the fact that this sticker is still on this box, I think is pretty neat, as it shows a little bit more of the history of this console bundle that came out more than 13 years ago. Alright, so that's it for our box. Let's go ahead and wrap up this celebration of Star Wars. So overall, I think Xbox did a phenomenal job with this Star Wars themed bundle. Not only did they make it themed after one of our favorite droids from the Star Wars movies with the R2-D2 console, they even mixed it up by adding a different droid in with C3PO for the controllers. But enough of me talking. What do you all think about this Xbox 360 Star Wars console bundle? If you enjoyed this celebration of May the 4th and a look at this gorgeous Star Wars Xbox 360, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And if you like cool special edition hardware like consoles and controllers, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because I'm always collecting and love getting to share my collection of special edition things with you all. So if you want to see more of that, make sure you subscribe. With all of that said, hope that you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all again soon here on Mel the Bombshell. Now, may the 4th be with you.